Good morning, and welcome to the Calaveras County Board of Supervisors meeting for July 23rd, 2024. If you are able, will you please rise for Pledge of Allegiance? Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, we'll move on to staff announcements. Morning, Eric. You had an early start?
Yes, sir. Nice to give you a quick update. So we do have a fire start this morning, about 12:30 a.m. off Jesus Maria Road, east of Harbor Road. Currently sitting at 50 acres in rough terrain. We do have a partial EOC activation with evac center location at Valley Springs Vets Hall for both human and animals. We're going to watch, basically, it's rough terrain, so they're having access issues. We do have air assets up, or Cal Fire does, obviously know this. And as the humidity drops today and the sun gets on it, we'll see what it does. But right now it looks good. We're obviously staying ahead of the curve on this. So right now we've got CCU 42 and 30A in evacuation orders and CCU 29 in the warning, which is held since about 5:30 this morning. So no changes since then. We'll continue to monitor and we'll send out some information and obviously check our social media. We'll be posting here pretty soon. So the only advisory right now is smoke advisory. PG&E, their nearest transmission lines half a mile away, so there are no power outages or anything of that nature. Any other questions?
Questions from the board? We should offer Undersheriff. Do you have anything you want to add on the evacuations?
I think Eric's covered it.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, John.
Thank you very much, Eric. Good luck, guys. Lisa?
Lisa Medina, Environmental Management Agency. So I have a few things to add to that. So for right now, if we do need to evacuate any large animals, they will be evacuated to Frogtown, which is in Angels Camp. And also we are going to be working with other entities for evacuation purposes, but they will be sending out and updating all that information that's going to be forthcoming. I did want to talk a little bit about one of our programs that we have at Animal Services regarding adoption. Currently, right now, we are at about 160% full. We have several dogs that are going to be probably under our care here in a few days, and we need foster parents. So we do have that foster program up and running. We're hoping that the public will look at those foster programs and consider themselves to be foster parents. We always need volunteers, so we're looking for volunteers. We do need some Fox Valley kitten milk replacement. Right now we're in the middle of kitten season from April through October, so we're looking to our public for maybe some donations. We do have a donation page, which is also our Amazon wish list on our Animal Services page. So one of the programs that I wanted to talk about at Animal Services for our adoption is our fee flexibility program. Basically, that any animal that has been available for adoption for more than 15 days, the overall fee for the adoption is 50% off. That does not include the stray or the wait period, which is approximately 15 days. Anytime we have overpopulation, which we always have overpopulation, we only currently have 21 kennels and 34 cat cages. We are doubled up in the dog kennels right now. So when either of these gets 80% full, the adoption fee will be 50% off. And then last but not least, it's the 55-5 program. Any adopter over 55 years old adopting any pet over 5 years old will only pay a total adoption of $5. So that is all I have.
Thank you very much, Lisa. Other staff announcements? Anybody online?
We have no online requests.
All right. Thank you all very much, and a lot going on this morning. We will move on to recognitions and acknowledgements. Madam Clerk.
Item 1, Proclamation, Public Health Services. Adopt a proclamation declaring August 2024 as Immunization Awareness Month in Calaveras County.
Thank you. I'll pass the gavel to Supervisor Hubbard.
Thank you, Chair. Whereas National Immunization Awareness Month is observed every August to bring attention to the importance of adhering to the recommended vaccination schedule for all ages. And whereas the administration of vaccines has prevented countless illnesses and saved millions of lives from disease, including but not limited to mumps, measles, hepatitis A and B, diphtheria, and tetanus. And whereas vaccines have been proven safe and effective, are licensed and carefully monitored for safety. And whereas despite a drastic decline in vaccine-preventable diseases, these illnesses still exist. And it is imperative that all people, regardless of age, ensure that they are up to date on recommended vaccines. And whereas the annual observance of National Immunization Awareness Month is intended to increase awareness and understanding of vaccine-preventable diseases and their prevention at local, state, and national levels. With that, do we have any comment from the public?
Good morning, Board of Supervisors. My name is Justin Barnes. I'm an analyst for Calaveras County Public Health. Vaccinations are one of the most important inventions in history, making life-threatening diseases preventable. According to the World Health Organization, it is estimated that vaccines have saved the equivalent of 6 lives every minute of every year for the past half-century. The measles vaccine has saved an estimated 94 million lives since its development, and the polio vaccine has allowed 20 million people to walk who would have otherwise been paralyzed. The COVID-19 vaccine has prevented an estimated 19.8 million deaths globally. In Calaveras County, the Public Health Department is dedicated to improving the health and well-being of all Calaveras County residents, and providing vaccines is one of the many ways we strive to achieve that mission. Since September 1st of 2020, Public Health, with the help of state and local partners, has delivered a total of 77,000 doses of the COVID-19 vaccine to our county residents. In 2023, Public Health vaccinated over 250 adult and youth community members, 50 of whom received vaccines through our mobile programs and services van. Immunizations play an important role in keeping our community healthy. Vaccines are important because they not only protect the person who is receiving the vaccine, but they also help to keep diseases from spreading to others, such as your family, neighbors, classmates, coworkers, and other community members. Immunizations help protect those who are most vulnerable to illness, including the elderly, infants, and those with weakened immune systems. Calaveras County Public Health encourages community members to stay up to date on their immunizations to not only protect themselves, but their community as a whole. Thank you for recognizing this foundational public health program.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Any comment online?
We have no public comment online.
Thank you. With that, I'll bring it back to the board.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Board of Supervisors, County of Calaveras, this 23rd day of July 2024, do hereby declare August 2024 as Immunization Awareness Month in the County of Calaveras.
All right, someone's got to be in you.
I mean, obviously. Allow me, everybody.
One, two, three.
I asked for six.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much, Supervisor Hubbard. We'll move on to item 2.
Item 2, proclamation probation, proclaim the week of July 21 through 26, 2024 as Probation Services Week in Calaveras County.
I will pass the gavel to Supervisor Stopper.
Thank you, Chair. Proclamation recognizing July 21st through 26, 2024 as Probation Services Week in Calaveras County. Whereas probation services include pretrial services, adult services, juvenile services, and post-release community supervision services. And whereas probation is a period of time during which an individual who has committed a crime is supervised by a probation officer rather than being incarcerated. And whereas probation services assist the court in the fair administration of justice, protect the community, and bring about long-term positive change in individuals under supervision. And whereas the goal of probation services is to prevent crime and delinquency, reduce recidivism. Is that right, Kim? Okay. Restore victims and promote healthy families and communities. And whereas probation services provide effective treatment and assistance programs based on the supervised individual's assessed needs. And whereas probation services seek to rehabilitate supervised individuals and guide them back into society while minimizing the likelihood that they will commit a new offense. And whereas probation services allow offenders to remain in the community and continue working and supporting their families. A couple things I'd like to say is that, sometimes we need to check the statistics for the probation department. They actively work towards keeping people unincarcerated and transitioning into our life without, continuing crime. But at the same time, they uphold the law. And sometimes checking out the statistics, finding out how many arrests are made by probation, drug seizures, firearm seizures, because there's a direct road into these houses of these probation people, and they have direct access. These people have a high percentage of actual charges that go through the court. Yes, and everything. It's actually an impressive number, and we need to appreciate our probation department for keeping our place safe, along with our sheriff's department that backs them up, and vice versa. So with that, any public comment?
So, Kim Craddock, Chief Probation Officer. I would just like to thank everyone who works for probation, all back there, not just the officers, but our support staff and our techs. Our techs do a lot of work for us, participate in pretrial services and in release. We do reentry services where we're going directly into the jail, setting up case plan and action plans so that people are not coming out homeless and without services. We provide direct services in the jail through cognitive behavioral therapies and interventions, and also at the DRC, and our officers do that directly, and our techs do that directly. In addition to enforcing terms and conditions of probation, drug enforcement and all the other things that go along with it. We're waiting on standby right now for the Maria fire in case that goes up, and we assist the sheriff's department often, especially in evacuation times. And then we have our other support staff, the paralegals, which we have 2 of, that ensures our court reports and court orders and all that stuff is in line. And then our administrative assistant and our office analyst that makes sure all our numbers and all our data is good. Like I said, we could not do it without our staff, without our DPOs and all of them. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further comment? Any comments by the board?
Just echoing what you already said, Supervisor Stopper, I think you're spot on. I want to thank the probation department as well for all that you guys do. You guys wear multiple hats on any given day, and you keep our community safe, and it's appreciated. Thank you.
Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second. We have a first and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Those not? 5-0 vote of the board. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Board of Supervisors of the County of Calaveras, this 23rd day of July 2024, does hereby recognize July 21st through July 26, 2024 as Probation Services Week to highlight probation's immense contributions to our community and state. Thank you very much.
Jim, bring Jim on that.
Please.
You guys are all here. Who's watching that guy?
They reincarcerated behind me.
I'm gonna cut it.
Please. Get my bad side in.
All right. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you
guys
all.
very
We
much.
really do appreciate that.
They were.
Thank you very much, Supervisor Stopper. And thank you very much to probation again, and immunization, and public health for being here this morning. We will move on to general public comments.
Any item of interest to the public that is within the subject matter jurisdiction of the board and is not posted on the consent or regular agendas may be addressed during the public comment period. California law prohibits the board from taking action on any matter which is not posted on the agenda unless it is determined to be an emergency by the Board of Supervisors. If public comment is completed before the 30-minute allotted time period, the board may immediately move to the next order of business. If public comment is not completed during the allotted time period, it will be continued as the last item of business in order to provide an opportunity for the remainder of comments to be heard.
Okay, so everybody knows the drill. It's 3 minutes. You'll have a red light, green light, green light, yellow light, red light. And if your comments are regarding something that's coming up later on the agenda, I will ask you to hold those comments till that time. So, who is our first, Mr. Clymer?
Sorry about that. Well, good morning, and I apologize that, like I told the chair, that I'm a little slow. I'm retired, and you all get up too early. I am talking about the traffic concern on Russell Road in San Andreas. Russell is different than a lot of the roads that we have. It's in effect a shortcut for Pool Station Road. We get a lot of traffic that is not used to being on Russell that speed up and down the street. The problem is, the danger is people walk on the street, kids walk to school. There's no sidewalks, it's a narrow street. They have to walk in the street. I provided each of you with a kind of a photo guide of it. Google was good at me because they showed a couple of people walking down the street, coupled with the blind driveways and such that it has. It is a hazard. I requested information from the Public Works for a speed bump. I got an answer back that says they don't do speed bumps because it slows down traffic. Okay. But I understand it slows down fire trucks, it slows down police cars, but that's doable. I'm not just not to blow my horn, but I'm not just a resident that's cranky. I've had many years as a military police traffic investigator and a sheriff's deputy in Los Angeles County. I'm a graduate of Northwestern University Traffic Institute, and I was, before I retired, a recognized expert in traffic situations and accident reconstruction by the LA County Superior Court. I don't know what best to do on this case. The county is most to do that. If it were me, I'd do a radar survey of it and see how many people are really speeding, but when they speed, they do. And I've almost been rear-ended, other people have almost been rear-ended because people are flying down the street looking at their cell phone and they don't see somebody turning. They're stopping for people in the street or waiting for somebody to come out of a driveway. It's a matter of time until somebody gets hurt. And I asked the board to take a look at it, see if we can figure out a way to help slow this down. The stop sign, the traffic speed signs, don't do it. So with that, if they have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Thank you very much. Chris?
My name is Christopher Butner. On July 9th, 2024, from this podium, I registered concern that the 2023-2024 final grand jury report had not been released despite the fiscal year ending 8 days prior. The final report was published on July 19th, 19 days late, potentially violating Penal Code 933A. My concern pertained to my 4 submitted grand jury complaints from the just ended fiscal year, focusing on the elected and appointed leadership of this government, detailing alleged malfeasance, corruption, and criminality. None of my 4 complaints were addressed by the grand jury, leaving me to infer 2 scenarios. The unlikely scenario is my allegations were referred to DAU for criminal investigation, indictment, and prosecution. The likely scenario is my complaints were suppressed. The missed grand jury deadline coincided with the July 16th publication of the 21-page California Commission on Judicial Performance report, publicly admonishing presiding Calaveras Superior Court Judge Timothy Healy. Judge Healy's misconduct and demeanor towards my family and I in civil harassment case 22-CH-40711 on October 23, 2023, mirrored his misconduct and demeanor detailed in the Commission's public admonishment report. I'm filing a formal complaint with the Commission against Judge Healy, referencing my family's case for his alleged violations of the canons of the Code of Conduct for United States judges. As asserted to all of you in my April 9th statement from this podium and in my April 12th follow-up email, my civil harassment case raises allegations that county officials provide protective cover for a Legacy Murphy's hospitality business that has employed an adjudicated pedophile since mid-2018. On July 11th, I filed a complaint with the FBI, logged and redirected to the Calaveras Sheriff's Office by the U.S. Department of Justice, confirmed on July 12th by Deputy Denny, badge 0581. All evidentiary documents supporting these allegations will be published to Calaveras2024election.com for law enforcement, media, and public scrutiny. This proposed failure to prioritize child safety prompts me to draft proposed legislation for which I'll seek sponsorship in Sacramento. The No Safe for Child Predators Act intends to amend and close dangerous loopholes in California Penal Code 290, failure to register as a sex offender that shields adjudicated child sex offenders who've relocated to California from states such as Georgia, with lax sex offender registry laws from being required to register as sex offenders in California. My name is Christopher Butner, publisher of Calaveras2024election.com. Thank you.
Are there further public comments in the room? Very well. We'll move on to the consent agenda.
Consent agenda items are expected to be routine and non-controversial. They will be acted upon by the board at one time without discussion. Any board member, staff member, or interested party may request a removal of an item from the consent agenda for later discussion.
Thank you. Are there members of the board that would like to pull an item from the consent agenda? Supervisor Haberty?
I'd like to pull 8, 15, and 16.
8, 15, and what?
16.
Other items from the board? Are there any items from staff that would like to be pulled? Anybody in the room, online?
We have no online requests.
Very well. Is there a motion for approval of the consent agenda with the exception of items number 8, 15, and 16?
I'll move the remainder.
Moved by Supervisor Toffenelli. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Supervisor Fallendorf. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries 5-0. Thank you. We'll go to item number 8.
Item 8, resolution, public health services by a 4/5 vote. 1, find project exempt from CEQA. 2, adopt a resolution authorizing the Health and Human Services Agency, Public Health Division to enter memorandum of understanding with Sierra Hope to receive reimbursement of funds for the acquisition of a new capital asset in the form of a hygienic shower trailer. 3, authorize the purchasing agent and HHSA to purchase a hygienic shower trailer. 4, approve a budget transfer increasing expected revenues and increasing capital expenditures in the amount of $75,750. And 5, authorize the auditor controller to add the equipment to the capital asset list.
Thank you. Supervisor Haberty, you had questions?
Thank you. Thank you very much for coming up. I just had a couple quick questions regarding the actual expenditure. I mean, obviously, it's a lot of money for a trailer, but secondly, I just wanted to know who's responsible and where is the money coming to maintain it? And is there a schedule for it to go around the county, and how does that work?
Yes, so for your first question, the maintenance as a whole will be conducted by public health. We have already allocated a position completely designated to maintain and sustain the schedule and the maintenance of the actual trailer itself. We are currently working on a schedule right now just to confirm. We're hoping to start at HHSA within the parking lot, so we can also make sure that we're collaborating with people and clientele who are utilizing HHSA services. That said, we're hoping to pilot it out and kind of roll it out slowly. So we're currently looking at other county models. Tuolumne and Amador have similar situations. And so Tuolumne has a really good setup, so does Amador right now, and so we're hoping to kind of mirror their processes and get those contracts in line prior to actually deploying everything. As for funding to sustain it, we're looking to use our medical administrative activities funding, so that is our MA revenue. Outside of that, we're hoping that a lot of these services, when we get into our medical reimbursement process, which should be within the next 2 or 3 years, we'll also have some revenue and reimbursement coming from that based off these community health worker services that we'll be providing.
Super. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Other questions from the board? Supervisor Stopper.
How is this trailer powered?
So the power itself will have a generator with us. It holds 200 gallons of water as well, just clean water, and then 400 gallons of wastewater.
With the laws coming down from the state on air pollution, and how many years will this trailer be able to be used in service to comply with the new exhaust laws?
I don't have that information off the top of my head, but I'm happy to.
I think that as we move forward, when we do acquisitions like this, that should be a major priority for knowing. As you know, with every utility and everyone else, it's the juggle on how many vehicles, what type of emissions we're putting off, and everything else, so we can comply with state law as we move forward, especially for public health. I mean, we don't want people choking on our exhaust.
Supervisor Stopper, please continue.
Aye.
Hi, Supervisor Stopper. I think it's also important to note that as we figure out where this trailer is going to be going, there will be many opportunities to actually not use a generator, to actually plug it into regular power. And I think that the whole intent of those shower trailers is to create a community-based project also. We have a lot of partners who are helping in that process. And it's also worth noting that this trailer, while it's intended, as Supervisor Haberty had alluded to to being rotated throughout the county. It's also would be used in times of emergencies.
That's the point. During times of emergencies, generally the power is the emergency, and plugging in somewhere is not the opportunity. So
Right, so again, just to reiterate though, that we would be using it in places where there was power. And if we had to back up, we would use the generator. And obviously we would be in absolute compliance with whatever was going on with the state.
yeah, absolutely, and generally during emergencies there are exemptions for specifically this type of issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when the power is out. That said, it's a blanket statement. It's not directed specifically at the trailer so much as acquisitions throughout the county as a whole, and that's the point.
Yeah.
Battery backup power could be an option later on, and everything else. Those are substantially more costing, and sometimes that's not an option for places like our rural Calaveras County when it comes to budgets. I thank you for your answers.
Yeah.
And it wasn't necessarily directed at the trailer specifically, but it's the overall purchase of anything as we move forward.
Please also know that Calaveras Public Health does have battery backups for a lot of things, and we have enormous battery backups. And so we would also look into, and I appreciate the suggestion, look into to make sure to see if that trailer could be backed up with one of our huge battery backups.
That can be appreciated.
Yeah, thank you. Really appreciate that.
Thank you. Any other questions, or is there public comment on this item? Seeing none, is there any online?
We have no online public comment.
All right, I'll look for a motion.
I'll move.
Moved by Supervisor Hubbard. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Supervisor Stopper. All in favor?
Aye.
Carries 5-0. Thank you very much. We'll move on to item 16. Excuse me. 15. I should wear
Item
my glasses.
15, action item, Public Works. 1, accept the work of Tennyson Electric, Inc. for the construction of the downtown Murphy's Street lighting upgrade project. 2, authorize the board chair to sign and record the associated notice of completion. 3, approve a budget transfer for the Murphy's Lighting District in the amount of $30,171. Requiring 4/5 affirmative vote of the Board of Supervisors. And 4, authorize the Department of Public Works to release all retained funds.
Thank you. Supervisor Hubbard, you have questions?
Thank you. Yes, Robert. I have major issues with the staff report on this. The lighting project started in June 2023, and I was told that it would be the conduit in the street and the lamps would be up by the end of July, which was fantastic, and it was done. It took 8 months to illuminate them. The part that I take exception to is in the report it says, due to the increased outdoor gathering in Murphy's in the fall months, it was decided that the project would pause early for the winter season. That was not the case as far as I was concerned. I was told that they would be illuminated for Halloween, and then I was promised that they would be illuminated for the Christmas parade. The other change order was issued for this project for an oversized box truck attempted to park directly under the new lamp. It wasn't an oversized box truck. It was a porta potty, and it was behind a trailer. And nobody has taken responsibility for the fact that these new lights are at least 4 feet shorter than all the other ones in town. And for us A-types who look down the street, when it goes up and down and up and down and up and down, and then we spent $4,541 turning them sideways so people wouldn't knock them off. I think it's not good enough. 4 months ago, at 375 Main Street, the lamp was knocked down. Still, I haven't heard anything about it being replaced. And I just want to say that I'm not ready to sign off on this until I know when that lamp is going to be up.
Yes, sir. We'll get that information to you on that.
Further questions from the board? Are there any, Madam CEO?
So Supervisor Hubbard, what I'm hearing you say is that potentially we should move this to a different date because you don't feel comfortable signing off on it?
I'd like to know what the ramifications are of that, but I don't want to wait a year to have this lamp put back. And I don't think they were ever done properly to begin nobody's saying that they weren't proper to begin with. So I don't know what the solution is. When I addressed this to Public Works a long time ago, I was told, well, we'll get new ones for the main street and we'll put these shorter ones in the park. But again, nothing.
So, Mr. Packinger, what would be the impact of moving this for a different date for approval?
We just can't release the retention and we don't record the notice of completion. But that's okay. We gotta go ahead and give him give Supervisor Hubbard the answers that he's seeking.
So would you like to pull this item to another date, or do you want to vote on this?
I think it'd be smarter to pull it and do it another day if that works for you, Robert.
Yes, sir.
Do we want to do a date certain?
Our next board meeting is August 13th. Is that something that would be sufficient in time?
Let's work on getting that for August 13th, and if we have to alter that before then, we'll alter it.
Thank you.
Everybody on the board agree to postpone this?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Robert. We'll move on to item 16.
Item 16, Agreement, Public Works. 1, award invitation to bid 23-1020-23913 for construction of the 2024 Road Resurfacing and Paving Program. And 2, authorize the board chair to execute construction contract 1020-2404 with Mountain Cascade, Inc. in the amount not to exceed $3,613,148.
Thank you. Supervisor Hubbard, you had questions?
Yeah, Robert. Yes, thank you, Robert. I'm talking about the Arnold portion of this, which was meant to have been done a year ago, and due to PG&E being slow, it got delayed because of the cold weather. And obviously that's not your fault or anything, but ultimately I was promised it would happen in April when the snow went away. And so far now we're going to approve this contract. I have no confidence that this work will actually get done this year, because you've got a month, and then sometime in October, it'll get shut down again. So I just wanted some sort of reassurance that this work will actually happen this year.
Okay. As far as the contractor's ready to go, we should be able to get that work done. However, at this point, one of the reasons I wanted to pull this item is because we're currently working on the PG&E reimbursement agreement to cover their part of the expense for the work in Arnold. That agreement hasn't been completed yet, so I'm requesting that this item be pulled to the August 13th meeting for award.
No. You're pulling from the other districts just for that district. If you want to pull this item, pull that particular part of it off where the PG&E is, but the rest of this got to go forward, or we're not going to get our roads done this year either.
Yes, I understand, sir. Unfortunately, the contract
either
is...
pull that portion of it, ask for that portion be pulled, and we vote on the rest of it, or we vote on all of it. I'm not going to... It's not affecting my district.
Unfortunately, it was bid out altogether, so we can't
I'm not going to vote to pull it.
change that.
Well, currently, we need to resolve the agreement with PG&E. The reimbursement agreement with them has to be in place so that we can cover the expense for the work.
I can't say this is like not the first year. It's been like since the last time I was going to run for supervisor the year prior. I mean, this is ongoing. 4 years. That's all I got to say about it.
Any public comment on this item before I bring it back to the board? Further discussion? Nothing online?
No comment.
So you want to pull the item. Martin, you want to pull the item. Gary, you want to go ahead?
I want the paving to happen. So I
okay.
I don't think Martin wants to pull it. I think he misunderstood Robert. I want to pull it because we got to figure out what we're going to do with PG&E. I mean, we've been figuring out what we're doing with PG&E on Vista del Lago and multiple other places. That reimbursement part can come back later. This is holding up all our roads. And so, I mean, if we say no to this now, these contractors are going to go take other jobs.
Council, you have something you want to add?
I just want to make sure that it's clear, and Mr. Packinger, please correct me if I get any of this wrong. This contract, if we award it, it includes work that PG&E is responsible for because of the damage that the work that they've done, right, that did affect the roadways. And so at we are waiting on PG&E to approve the reimbursement agreement. So while the board could award this contract at this time, the board needs to understand that a chunk of this work that would be awarded is not the county's to pay for, and we do not yet have a signed agreement from PG&E. We're working it out right now.
Can I ask, is that just the Arnold portion?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
I don't think it's fair to any of the other districts to wait on this.
There's a different solve, though. Can we say in lieu of, the agreement with PG&E being agreed upon, this can, that money can be backfilled. Something in that order. You're the wordsmith when it comes to
right. The only concern, so this item, right, is to award this contract for all of the work to this contractor. So then the county would be agreeing to pay this contractor for all of the work. And as of right now, at this moment, we do not have any guarantee that the portion of it, which is PG&E's responsibility, PG&E will actually pay for. So there is some risk involved and I apologize if I'm not articulating that well, but basically the county would be at this moment agreeing to pay the contractor the full amount, not knowing with certainty. I mean, I anticipate we'll have that agreement worked out with PG&E very soon.
I understand what you're saying, Council. Thank you. With that said, when we go through each road's itemized on potential cost going down, which we're voting on right now, which the contractor bid on, can we omit the Arnold portion out of there because it's already separated on the cost on the bid? No?
It has to be awarded as it was
because
bid. The contractor bid on the entirety of the work.
The contractor on the contract. Okay, I get it.
Supervisor Falber?
Is the PG&E work on the entire area of Arnold that's impacted, or just certain segments where you can at least start some of the paving in Arnold and leave out the other roads while you negotiate that?
The 3 roads that they worked on were the roads that were...
It's Mustang, Calaveras, and there's one other road, and that was the issue of why they weren't paved a year ago.
And this is awarding the contract to the contractor. So the contractor is going to have a specific amount that they're going to be owed, whether we want them to do the work or not.
No, I understand that. I just was like, if Street A and B are PG&E, but Street C, there's no impact. Just get those at Street C.
That was the whole reason
that said,
why
for a whole year to be held up like this over this singularity, I'm willing to take the risk.
I have a question. Please. It says here District 5 is about $1.9 million. Of that $1.9 million, how much of that is actual PG&E that you're in negotiations for?
About half.
About half of it. So we're about $900,000.
High risk.
That we'd have to pay out in lieu of PG&E. And where are you in negotiations with PG&E? Have you even started those?
Oh, yeah.
Have you, what stage are we? Have anybody's thrown out any numbers to them yet?
Yes. Oh, yes. We're just agreeing on the language for the agreement. PG&E, I believe, has it now, and we're waiting to hear back from them.
So is there high risk, would you say? Low risk? Moderate?
My understanding is that PG&E is very aware and agrees to the fact that they are responsible for this portion. We just don't have the language of the agreement hashed out yet.
So can I ask one last question? And that is, my understanding was that when they did the work, they put a temporary patch on it. and that those roads that they needed to come back and pave, that they were responsible for paying. So how did that come back on us? Or did it?
They are responsible for a portion of the paving, the lanes that are affected and so forth. Our job is to do the entire road. So whatever is beyond what they're supposed to take care of, we're paying for that part. So the one paving job is supposed to take care of the whole thing.
And they're reimbursing us for a portion of it.
Yeah, please keep kicking around.
Was your question answered, Mr. Thompson?
Yeah, it was answered. I'm willing to take a chance. I don't want to wait any longer for the roads like in my district. We've been waiting like you for. Let's get on with it. We've got a contract in front of us.
And from what I'm hearing from council, sounds like we're moving forward. PG&E's amiable, although they have gone other ways on certain power things. I'm willing to take the risk, so I'll make a motion on that unless there's public comment.
Martin, do you have another question?
Oh, sorry, no.
What happens if they, if PG&E walks? Not likely to happen, according to everybody here. Where would the money come from?
The only place that we would be able to get any funds for this would be our road fund money.
Well,
and I'm not sure that there's
other general fund monies too, but not that we really can afford it.
There's a RIM fund.
For a few more hours.
Don't make me cry.
Okay, so there's no public comment. You've asked the questions. Somebody want to call the question?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Supervisor Stopper, second by Supervisor Toffanelli. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. There's the dice.
Thank you for pulling this, Mark.
Yes.
Good discussion.
Okay, moving on to regular meeting agenda.
Item 19, Resolution, Human Resources, adopt a resolution approving, 1, a new salary schedule for classifications within the Deputy Sheriff's Association, Sheriff's Management Unit, Calaveras County Public Safety Employees Association, and for unrepresented employees. 2, the salary schedule implementation process as outlined. And 3, the described changes to the position control list, including reclassifications, elimination of positions, and updated job descriptions.
Thank you. Judy?
Good morning, Chairman Mendy, members of the board, Judy Hawkins, Human Resources and Risk Management Director. I'm very happy to be in front of you today, and also want to say what a testament this is, being here today, showing what strong teamwork can do. Just 1 year ago, I brought forward to you on July 23rd the Evergreen contract. Evergreen started the comprehensive class and comp study in August. They met with employees. HR gave them all the data they requested, and then also with their surveys, and then the job analysis tool was able to bring back a recommendation to this board last March. And so then now the admin team took those recommendations, ran with it, put together a plan that the county could afford. They worked heavily with the department heads. I want to thank department heads who found ways to change their budgets so we could move this forward to the board. I want to thank the board for giving us the authority to work with the bargaining units who have been awesome to work with through this process. And so 1 year, we're in front of you. This was a very heavy lift. It's a heavy lift for my staff right now, making sure all the data is being put into our system. It's a big change going from 5 steps to 7 steps. And they are working closely with our BA analyst, Michelle Buck, who has been awesome at testing the data to make sure that we have a successful outcome in the first pay period. So some of the changes that we are bringing before you is, like I said, we're going from a salary schedule of 5 steps to a schedule of 7 steps. And this is also to be able to take these increases and kind of move them out, spread them out a little bit. And also it gives us a chance to retain people that have been at E-Step for a long time. And they may start thinking twice at when their retirement date's going to be. Because now if they're moved from E-Step to step 3 or 4, they have several more years of merits. So they may want to stay a little bit longer. I've had those conversations. I've thought about that myself. And so that's where it will help in retention of our staff that have been here for a while. Also, one of the big processes in this is that we are moving employees to their closest step, to the amount closest to what they make right now. If we were to move them to a step equal, the chance of this being affordable goes away. And so they are being moved to the closest step. Some will see more increases than others. But then, like I said, we have several, they have room to grow. We also have COLAs still coming for the next 2 years. And so this is a great win-win for everybody. Employees who are currently at step A through D will keep their current merit date. Those that are at E-Step no longer have a merit date in the system since they have already worked through the schedule. And so they will be given a new merit date 1 year from the effective date. But we do want to recognize those employees that have been in their classification for 10 years or longer. We do have a handful throughout the county. And so we will give them a merit date 6 months after adoption of the plan. And then also, we're adding a salary schedule for our appointed department heads, which is something that is tremendous. This is a big step for the county. And so we will give them a merit date of January, the first payroll in January. So this has been a great process. We got the process done faster than most would even imagine we could. So also, as part of this, we do have some job description changes, and we do have some title changes. The job descriptions we're tweaking, and so not a lot of massive changes. But to be able to afford this, once again, thank you to the department heads. We looked closely at eliminating positions that have been vacant for quite a while. And so we are eliminating some of those vacant positions, which we do have. Our DA has given a DA services specialist. We are eliminating a part-time deputy DA, also a probation officer, and correctional tech, 2 correctional officers, a deputy county counsel, and 3 vacant deputy sheriff positions. So can I answer any questions?
Questions on the board, Supervisor Stopper.
Not so much a question as a statement. I just want to thank not only everyone that came together working towards this and the department heads for the cuts that they made to be able to afford this, but the associations and unions that welcomed this with open arms and understood the work that went into making this happen. Those people that have agreed to this are, a sound mind, and I appreciate the work that they went in working with us on this.
Public comments. See, is there any online?
We have no online public comment.
Very well, thank you, Judy. Bring it back to the board for action. Is there a motion?
Second.
Moved by Supervisor Stopper, second by Supervisor Follendorf. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries 5-0. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And thank you to all our partners.
Chair, can I just say something really quickly?
Yes.
I just want Judy, I just wanted to say thank you so much. I didn't get a chance to say thank you, but I also wanted to thank administration too.
Yes.
Because
this was, like I said in the very beginning, this is a testament of what happens when teamwork happens. So everybody put in hard work on this, and I want to thank everybody, including the board.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Supervisor Hubbard. Very well. Any supervisor announcements? Supervisor Hubbard?
Yesterday, I attended the CSA meeting with Supervisor Toffnelli, and that's all I had to report.
Very well. Supervisor Stopper? Nothing? Supervisor Toffnelli?
I have nothing to report.
Supervisor Follendorf?
Nothing to report.
Madam CEO? Madam Counsel? Madam Clerk? Okay. Very well. We will be adjourning this meeting into closed session, and we will report out at our next meeting. Is that the right way to say that? I'm sorry. Thank you. Stacey.
Closed session agenda pursuant to Government Code 54956.9D2, conference with legal counsel, re-anticipated litigation, one case, significant exposure to litigation.
Any public comment? Seeing none, we stand adjourned. Thank you.